Can you believe it? Another quarter has passed. And it's time for a Scaf update. And what a dramatic quarter it has been globally. It's been no less dramatic for Scaf. I'm very excited about this release because we just completed a refactor that opens up so many possibilities. Scaf is now a template manager. The full stack template that was in the Scaf repo, we moved that to a separate repository because Scaf can install any template from any GitHub repository now. It's no longer limited to our opinions. So we hope that this move really encourages you to create your own diverse app templates for a whole different full stack of frameworks for different cloud providers. And it would be incredibly rewarding if I can announce a whole collection, a whole ecosystem of Scaf templates in a few quarters from now. With the template now in a separate repository, we had to focus on the abilities of the functionality in the Scaf CLI. We added some much needed documentation and some examples on how to use it with external repositories, including on how to deploy a template for a specific branch and how to upgrade the Scaf CLI and even how to uninstall it. We have only 2 templates available now. That's one more than a quarter ago. The Scaf full stack template, and we added another template which we refer to as the Scaf Light template, which is a very simple AWS Lambda app where the goal is really to be up and running as quickly as possible with as few cloud resources as possible. So follow those links to the repositories and be inspired to create your own. Another very important and exciting change is the switch from Docker to UV. In the past, we used Docker to bootstrap a new project. The Scaf shell script essentially wrapped Docker, and the reason we did that was to ensure that we have a stable, reproducible environment where we know exactly what Python version we are running, and we have control over all of the dependencies when a new project is bootstrapped across different operating systems. But UV has been a revelation and a revolution in the Python world, and we replaced Docker and switched to UV to bootstrap new projects because it essentially guarantees the same kind of stability and reproducibility that Docker gave us. And since this is Python specific, it was a perfect use case for UV. Once your project is bootstrapped, we now use UV pip compile to compile all the dependencies, which is needless to say a lot faster. Looking at the full stack template specifically, we've upgraded from Postgres 16 to 17. We added some default resource limits to Django and Next.js deployments, not as the gospel, but more as a reminder to you to go test your workloads in a staging and a production cluster and set some real accurate resource limits. We added Dependabot to GitHub Actions so you can get regular PRs for security updates to packages. We added our Semantic Release workflow to GitHub Actions to automatically version your project, your newly bootstrapped project, and update the change log and bump the version with each release without you having to think about it too much. And then we added scheduled backups to cloud native PG, so that should simplify setting that up and give you the peace of mind that you have daily backups on Postgres data. Finally, a little bit more background on the vision behind the split and the future of Scaf. We think of Scaf as the Helm for development environments. So where Helm allows you to deploy multiple charts into a containerized or Kubernetes environment, we hope that Scaf can allow you to compose a single or multiple templates to create a new project from a template. You might ask, well, if Copier can already deploy templates, what does Scaf do? Well, it has a lot of value it adds over and above that. Currently, it compiles dependencies for you. It initializes your GitHub repository. In future, we hope that we can come up with a simple specification that you can put in your template to tell Scaf what dependencies, what CLI tools you need installed to develop on this template or on this project. And we hope that you can compose, well, we believe we can change it to so that you can compose multiple templates into a template, very similar to what Helm does, and deploy that into a project. Imagine you compose a template where you say, well, I want the GitHub template, and I want the Django template, and the Postgres template, and the Argo CD template. And these templates are very focused on what they are good at. The very complicated backbone comes to mind, where you have a UI and a complicated setup process where you install all of these components of very, very powerful back framework, of course, but often very complex. So we think that with Scaf we can still keep it simple and enable all of those dependencies and options to provide similar functionality than Backbone, but in the terminal. And then finally, we see the templates also specifying in a list of actions or tasks that need to be performed, like the one we already do, which is to compile dependencies. But imagine that can be encoded in the template and be completely open-ended. So very exciting indeed. Yeah, and we hope to see you comment and give us feedback on this new direction. Thank you very much. Until the next update.